It all started on a quiet Sunday evening. Emily, a 17-year-old girl from Ohio, was brushing her hair in front of her bedroom mirror. But that night, something felt off. She noticed that the reflection in the mirror wasn't brushing her hair at the same rhythm. The movements were slightly delayed, slightly wrong. At first, she laughed it off, thinking she was just tired. But every night after that, the reflection got stranger. One night, the shadow in the mirror stopped moving altogether. It just stood still, staring at her, even when she turned away. Emily covered the mirror with a sheet and tried to ignore it, but every morning, the sheet was gone. Then, it got worse. One night, Emily woke up to a sound, the faint sound of glass cracking. She turned on the light. The mirror was fine, but the reflection was smiling, and then the reflection blinked. Emily didn't. It wasn't her anymore. She screamed and ran out of the room. When her parents entered moments later, she was gone. All that remained was her reflection, smiling from inside the mirror, trapped forever. Jake was a quiet man, lived alone, worked from home. He didn't like distractions, especially late-night ones. But for the past 3 nights, his phone had been ringing at exactly 3:33 a.m. The caller ID? His own number. At first, he assumed it was a glitch. He answered once, silence, just dead air. But the next night, when he picked it up, he heard something. His own voice, screaming, begging, whimpering in fear. Jake froze. He recognized that scream. It was him, but not now. It was like someone had recorded a moment from the future, a moment he hadn't lived yet. The next night, he didn't pick up, but the phone rang again and again, 3:33 a.m. every single time. He smashed the phone, took out the SIM, burned the battery. But the next night, he heard something worse. His TV turned on by itself. The screen was static, and through the noise came a voice, his voice, screaming the same way again. Then, the power went out. Jake hasn't been seen since, but his number still rings at 3:33 a.m. to random strangers. And when they answer, they hear him, still screaming, from wherever he is now. Lily was only 10 years old. One night, while her parents were out, she heard soft crying coming from under her bed. It sounded like a child. She knelt down, trembling, and whispered, "Who's there?" A voice replied, "Help me. She's not your mom." Terrified, Lily backed away and ran to her mother, who was cooking in the kitchen. She told her everything. Her mom just smiled, strangely. "Sweetheart," she said, "why would you be scared of me?" Her voice changed, deeper, distorted. Lily screamed and ran back to her room, hiding under the bed, and found herself already there, tied up, eyes wide open. She realized the truth too late. The woman in the kitchen wasn't her mother, and the crying under the bed was the real Lily. Daniel checked into an old hotel after a long road trip. He asked for the cheapest room. The receptionist paused. "Any room but 313, she said. Daniel chuckled and insisted. Room 313 smelled like mildew and something rotten. That night, he heard knocking from inside the closet. He opened it. Nothing. Just an old coat. At 3:13 a.m., the lights flickered. His bathroom mirror fogged up, though no one had taken a shower. Written on the glass, "You shouldn't have come here." He tried to leave, but the door wouldn't open. The closet opened by itself. A tall, pale figure stepped out. No eyes, no mouth, just skin. Daniel screamed, but no one heard him. Room 313 was found empty the next morning. No luggage, no guest, just an old coat hanging in the closet. Tom and Sarah bought a new home in the countryside. In the backyard stood an old swing set. At night, the swing would move on its own. No wind, Tom said, just old chains. But every night at midnight, the swing would sway and a low laugh could be heard. One night, they placed a camera outside. At 12:00 a.m., the swing began to move. A small shadow figure appeared on the seat. It just sat, rocking. When they reviewed the footage the next morning, they saw a pale face slowly turn toward the camera. Its eyes were hollow, and its mouth was smiling, wide open. They moved out the next day, but every new tenant says the same thing. The swing still moves. A group of hikers camped deep in a forest that locals called the Echo Wood. That night, they heard whispers. Each whisper called their names. Probably the wind, they laughed. But by morning, one of them, Jake, was missing. His tent untouched, his bag still inside. The next night, the whispers came back, louder. "Leave now," it said, "or join us." The second hiker vanished. No sound, no struggle, just gone. The last one, Olivia, tried to run, but the path kept leading her back to the same clearing. And there stood Jake and the others, eyes black, smiling, still whispering. Anna was babysitting for a wealthy family one rainy night. The kids were asleep upstairs. At 10 p.m., she got a text from the house landline. It said, "Why did you leave the kids alone?" Confused, she rushed upstairs. The kids were sleeping peacefully, but when she came back down, she saw a photo on her phone. It was of her, sitting on the couch, taken from behind. Then another text, "Don't turn around." She did. There was no one there. She ran upstairs and locked herself in the room with the kids. The police arrived 30 minutes later. They found the couch sliced open, like someone had been hiding inside it. Mark worked late in a high-rise building. At midnight, he entered the elevator and pressed G for ground. But the elevator stopped at 13. There is no 13th floor. The doors opened to a dark hallway lined with mirrors. He stepped out, calling for help. The mirrors reflected him, but not correctly. Some versions smiled, others screamed. He turned to go back, but the elevator was gone. And from every mirror, his reflections stepped out. He was never seen again. But sometimes, the elevator stops at 13, and the mirrors there, they don't reflect you anymore. A group of teens found an online ritual called the Midnight Game. You write your name, light a candle, and knock on a wooden door 22 times. The last knock must hit exactly at midnight. They laughed as they tried it, but when the candle went out, the laughter stopped. They were no longer alone. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. A shadow crawled across the ceiling. One by one, they were pulled into the dark. Screaming, only one survived. She was found the next morning, eyes wide open, hair turned white, still clutching the candle, unlit. Peter bought an old house for cheap, too cheap. Inside, every painting, every mirror, every corner felt like it was watching him. He started covering them, but he still felt eyes on his back. One night, he removed a painting. Behind it, carved into the wall, "We see you." He tried to leave, but the front door wouldn't open, and then he saw it. A face, formed from cracks in the wall, watching him. The entire house was alive, and it wanted him. Peter's gone now, but the house still stands, and it's still watching.